continue with discussing or learning about all of the restrictions of 3 weeks. Right, so 3 weeks, we said it's actually 3 different stages. 3 weeks, 9 days, like from Rosh Chodesh Av, and the week that TishaBAv falls on. Just quickly. And the next topic is landscaping. Planting which brings one joy is not permitted during the 9 days. So not right, only 9 days. This includes planting flowers to beautify the lawn. Overgrown grass may be trimmed if it intercedes normal walking. Okay, so meaning if you have a backyard, something like cut the grass before. If mowing only serves for beauty of the lawn, then it is forbidden. Beautify. Okay, so planting a tree or plant during the 9 days is permitted since it does not bring joy. Okay, watering plants is permitted during the 9 days. Okay, so quickly review again. Our topic is landscaping. Landscaping. Planting which brings one joy is not permitted, right? So flowers for sure brings a personal joy, unless it's a bulbs, right? So if you would bulbs, like I don't think there is special joy, right? I mean, because they're going to grow only in later on, maybe even next year. Okay. So overgrown grass, if it's like a problem is walking, can right, cut it, right? If not, so only for beautification, not allowed. Planting a tree, no problem. So right, we're talking about this 9 days, right? If it's not, will not bring joy. Watering plants, no problem. Okay. Next one, siyum, right? When siyum is made in a camp or yeshiva, all these present may eat meat. So all of these 3 days, right, we don't eat meat, but if it's siyum, it's for a mitzvah, so we're allowed to eat meat, including women and children, so which are not were not obligated to study, right? Meaning people who didn't even study this, but they join other people who did study, and this siyum, right? Siyum meaning the conclusion, some section of the Torah. So now they can celebrate all together. One may not bring the food outside of the place where siyum is being held. Very interesting. One may not hear the siyum and then go and make barbecue at different location. That's very interesting. So meaning the siyum celebration, it's a Seudah mitzvah right there in that place. Don't go anywhere. Okay. Buying an air conditioner. One is allowed to buy an air conditioner if it is needed due to the heat. Okay, so I mean, maybe don't say shikiyan on this, right? Usually. So continue. Kiddush in a bungalow colony. A bungalow colony that makes kiddush every Shabbos morning may do so on Shabbos Chazon, right, before this TishaBAv, even though people will sociable and enjoy. Okay. No problem. So meaning that the Shabbos, like a Shabbos before of the week that before the week of that TishaBAv falls on. Okay. So meaning if there is that's what people do. They do like community kiddush. No problem. Car wash. If one's car is very dirty, it is allowed to get a car wash during the 9 days. Okay. So it's not again not for pleasure, not for anything, but because it's dirty. Flying. One may fly during the 9 days if it's unavoidable. So again, as we said, there is some danger, physical danger. So we try not to put ourselves in a place of danger. So if you can avoid taking a vacation or a fly, so that's one person should do. If not, what can you do? Next one, family pictures. Taking family pictures during the 9 days is frowned upon and should be avoided. Right, even family picture, why it's like a very sad period of time, especially this 9 days. Okay. Al Nacharos Bavel. During 9 days, many camps sing Al Nacharos Bavel, Tehillim 137, before benching. Okay. Many individuals say it as well, though not most do not. One may say it in a camp if it's not, may one say it in a camp if it's not his custom. The custom is recite Al Nachalos Bavel, every day is mentioned by the Paskim. It should only be said on a day when Tachanun is recited. On other days, Shabbos, Yom Tov, Rosh Chodesh, Shir Chamalos is said. Right. So this psalm before we start Birchas Hamazon, I'm not sure. I mean, it says clear. So many people do not say about this Al Nacharos Bavel. So we said that by the rivers of the Babel, right? All these things. I think right. Halacha said that we should say. Okay, but only on a day when there is no Tachanun. Right. When there is Tachanun. When there is no Tachanun, which is Shabbos, Yom Tov, and Rosh Chodesh, so we say Shir Lamalos. Okay. Next one. Al Nacharos Bavel and Shir Lamalos should be both recited before Mai Machranim. Right. So Mai Machranim is last verse, like last portion. It's connected to Birchas Hamazon. This psalm is actually extra. So we sing the psalm or say whatever we do, read, and then you wash your hands and then you say Birchas Hamazon, not the opposite. So it's this thing has nothing to do with with a time period. It's just a general halacha. The Likutei Macharich mentioned that there is a reason to recite Al Nacharos Bavel daily. Is that according to the Gemara? According to Gemara, we really should not eat meat and bread or drink wine due to the destruction of a Beis Hamikdash. Since this would be very difficult, we don't refrain from all that. Since we don't want to show that we do not care, we say Al Nacharos Bavel. Very interesting explanation. Very interesting. So let's review it. So I say that let's take the babies and like break them, smash them against the wall. Right. That's what it says there. So happy is the man who take this Babylonian babies, smash them against the wall. Okay. So which is so he said it's let's review it. So he mentioned there is a reason to recite Al Nacharos Bavel daily. Is according to Gemara, one should not eat meat, bread, or drink wine, right after the destruction of Beis Hamikdash. So, but since we cannot, it would be very difficult to write, and we still doing it. So we have to don't want to show that we do not care. So even though it is allowed, but it is allowed after the fact because there is no other way, right? So don't be care. So that's why, right? That's why we say Al Nacharos Bavel. Upon concluding the Seudach Hamavsekas of Erev TishaBAv, Al Nachalos Bavel is recited. So before the ninth of Av, we say that there is a mitzvah to eat, right? So it's a special mitzvah. You eat not too much, right? We usually don't combine together to say. So this what is it? This special formula in Birchas Hamazon, right? And eat only certain foods. So of course, before saying Birchas Hamazon, that's of course it's very appropriate to say Al Nacharos Bavel. The Aruch HaShulchan mentioned that saying Al Nacharos Bavel during the week is in a place of saying Divrei Torah at the meal. Very interesting. It would seem that if one says words of the Torah at the meal, there is no need to say Al Nacharos Bavel. So let's try to understand. So it says, it's actually in Pirkei Avos said. So at every meal we have to say the words of the Torah. And some say what would be the words of the Torah. if you say Birchas Hamazon, right? So it's words of the Torah, especially this Al Nacharos Babel or Shir Alamalos, right? It's especially like a separate Tehillim. It's from written Torah. Right, and he said, so he mentioned that saying Al Nacharos Babel during the week, in a place of saying Divrei Torah at the meal. Right, so meaning this psalm instead of saying Dvar Torah. It would seem that one would, if one say the words of at the meal, words of the Torah, there is no need to say Al Nacharos Babel. Okay, no problem. So, right, or if weekday we can listen to a class like in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. We need time to eat. It would seem that if camp is reciting Al Nacharos Babel, then one should say it with them, even does not normally do so, since it is brought down by the Paskim, and there is really no good reason why it's not said throughout the year. So I'm not sure why people don't do it. It takes exactly, I don't know, less than a minute, like a few verses. Why don't you say it? And plus it's there, so for me it's mind-boggling, like why person decided to skip if it is there, like in every bench, in every siddur it is there, so why would you skip it? So next one, walking on Erev TishaBAv. One should not take pleasure walks after Chatzos on Erev TishaBAv, so after the midday of Erev TishaBAv. Some mention that this applies even to the entire day. So not the day to Shiva, like even before 152. If one is, I think this year is going to be on Sunday, if I remember correctly. We have to check. Some mention that this applies to the entire day. Okay, so if one is doing so for a health reason, it is allowed, right? So doctor told him to walk, and he or she's walking, no problem, right? But technically, like a person, should be concentrated on upcoming fast. It's not a fast, but an upcoming day. Deodorant and repellent. One is allowed to put deodorant on TishaBAv, especially if it's hot outside. One is allowed to spray in insect repellent on TishaBAv. Okay. Why would somebody thought that deodorant would be forbidden? I'm not sure. I mean, they applied the deodorant not for pleasant smell, but for to block the sweat. Okay. Next one. Maintenance on TishaBAv. Maintenance. A swimming pool breaks. If a swimming pool breaks, and one wants it to be ready after TishaBAv, a non-Jew may be asked to fix it after Chatzos of TishaBAv. Okay, so very interesting. So TishaBAv, of course, nobody goes to the pool, but if something was broken, you can ask non-Jew to work on TishaBAv. It is permitted to install an air conditioner in one's home on TishaBAv, even before Chatzos. Right. If it is hot there and there is a public need. So meaning before Chatzos, like it's we sit on the floor or on a very low stool, right? And after Chatzos, it is allowed to sit on a normal stool or normal chair, right? So because we say that Mashiach is born after Chatzos on TishaBAv, so meaning it's we see some more leniency, right? Continue. Socializing. On TishaBAv, in a bungalow colony, people should not sit together and talk for a long periods of time, or travel the other colonies to visit. This distracts from the purpose of the day. So again, this day, of course, we must fast, but it's not all about fasting. It's about introspecting, right? As we said, as our sages say, a generation that Beis Hamikdash was not built, it means that is guilty as if it was destroyed in our generation. to travel to somebody, like to spend time, like, and some people go to the cemetery. So I would not advise, because usually, like, at least by us, it's very hot day, usually very hot day, and now you without water, and you go in the cemetery like under open sun. So okay, so not advisable. Bunk beds. If one is changing his clothing on TishaBAv in camp, he may sit on a top bed of a bunk bed, even if it is very high. He should not loiter there and talk. Very interesting. So, meaning, we said before Chatzos, we said you're not allowed to sit on on a high chair. I mean, a normal chair, right? But if somebody needs to change his clothing, like all right, he can sit on the top bunk bed. Okay, no problem. Havdalah. When TishaBAv falls on Motzei Shabbos, Havdalah is recited Sunday night. Okay, so meaning on Motzei Shabbos, so on Sunday, right? So we start fasting without doing Havdalah. A woman, if a woman is in a country and her husband traveled back home on TishaBAv, she should hear Havdalah from another man rather than say it herself. Right. So I mean, we learn it in regarding the obligation of a woman who makes Havdalah to recite blessing on the candle. Okay. Right. So if she cannot hear from another man, because men for sure obligated, women is not according to all paskin, so she can do it herself. Okay. Next one. Kiddush Levana. It is custom to recite Kiddush Levana on Motzei TishaBAv. It is proper to go home, eat, put on shoes, right? Shoes, because during on TishaBAv, one of the restrictions is of using shoes, right? Leather shoes. So we use canvas shoes, whatever shoes. Okay, not leather one. It is proper to go home, eat, put on shoes, and then go back to shul and say it within the minyan. In a city, right? I mean, I'm not sure how is it practical. Go eat home and then come back, like when it ends like 9 p.m. or something. So until you come back, it's 11. I don't know. In a city, so what usually they do? They they break fast in a shul. They drink some whatever, some juice or something. They eat a piece of cake, and then they go and make Kiddush Levana. That's what in our place. That's what they do. I think it's more practical. People go home and come back. In a city, this may be difficult since people will not want to drive back to shul. In a bungalow colony, in a bungalow colony, it's much easier for sure. Right, it makes sense. In a bungalow colony, everybody's around, so they can come back or go eat and come back. And last one, Zecher Lechurban. One who has a home in a country is obligated to put up the Zecher Lechurban, even if it's only there for a summer. Kind of obligated to put up the Zecher Lechurban, so meaning remembrance of the Churban, even there for the summer. So meaning as we said, had a clips of art that make unpainted some piece of the wall, amma by amma. Okay, so I think we stop here. We actually covered all the halachas. Somehow I thought that he would go to different topics, right? No problem. So and then BeEzrat HaShem, we're going to continue without things, like if we have extra time, right? In each class, so we should cover summer halachas. All right.